designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hi, welcome to the Sound of Gold. And I am thrilled to be here. I'm here with Callie, and we are welcoming some great people on our show today. But before we do, I want to thank you for being here and let you know that the reason we do this show is to focus on music, musicians, music venues, music teachers, and music schools. And the idea is we want to keep music original, and we want to keep it going. We want to keep it moving. And so venues that have live musicians and live bands, it's just so important to keep that thriving. And as a musician myself, I know I love to play, I love to perform. It's a passion. It's what I love to give from my heart. And if you've heard me play before, great. If you haven't, you may hear me a little bit today, but really the show is not so much about me. It's about who I get to connect with. It's about who I get to have on my show. It's about who I get to represent. And today I have some very special guests. I have the Soulshine band joining me. And I just found out there's two bands with that name, but the only Soulshine band I know of has lead singer Thia Muilenberg and Tommy Strauss and Nick Fallon and Al Johnson. And they are such a fabulous local band that plays. Their harmonies are great. They play a lot of original pieces. And I'm so thrilled to invite them on. So let's welcome Thia and Nick and Tommy. And I think Al is not able to join us today, but that's okay. We will have him next time. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for making the time. If you haven't met, this is Callie. She's going to be joining us for the interview here for a little bit anyway. So I was just mentioning how important music is and how the whole purpose for my show is not so much for me, but to help represent all of you, all of us local musicians that have this passion to play and passion to share our heart, because music is not just something we play, it's something we express, and it's something that we feel. And I know the more we feel melodies and the more we feel what we play, the greater it's received by the audience. And I mean, there's so much I could just keep going on and on about. Thia, I wanted to start with you. I know you just recently told me Soulshine, there's two different bands named Soulshine, but in my world, no offense to the other Soulshine band, but I don't know that band. So I'm welcoming you. I'm welcoming the Soulshine band that I know. And I've heard you guys play. Thia, there's so much information I want to get to share with our audience about all of you. And starting with you, Thia, I mean, where did you begin your life journey on music? What inspired you to get to where you are now?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. So I have been a musician since I was 7. I was taking piano lessons. And way fast forward, I decided to become a music therapist after I was in a horrible car accident. And I healed myself through music and art and other creative means. It was a fatal car crash, so it was a lot to heal. So that spurred me on to becoming a therapist because I wanted to use the arts to help people. And so I was a music therapist for over 20 years. And all that time I was using my music and other things, art and drama and so forth, but using my guitar and my singing for various reasons to help people of all ages. And I wasn't performing. I was helping groups and individuals. So at some point after I stopped doing that, I realized that that was one thing I really had not done very much of, was performing, and that I had a desire to do that. I also had a desire to write songs and record them. And so all around the same time, when my kids had finally flown the coop and I found myself like an empty nester, okay, it's time to really focus on that more in my life. And in 2019, I started gigging, solo gigging. And there was this wonderful little cafe called the Garden City Cafe, which you all know. Always been so supportive of musicians. And I was invited to come play there on a regular basis. And that just one thing led to the other. And I just loved it. And I formed a band in 2022. That was 3 years ago, Soulshine. And we've had some different members over the years. But Tommy, our percussionist, joined in 2023. And it started out as an all-female fronted band with harmonies. And then, various changes happened. People moved away and so forth. And now we have also a focus on harmony. I'm the only female though, but it's been a fantastic experience to work with this group. And I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say too, Nick and Tommy. And I'm really sorry that Al Johnson can't be here. He is working and something came up, unfortunately, but he and I joined forces in January, and he has considerable experience, led a couple of major bands that toured around the country, and played and performed for, I think, over 16, 17 years, something like that. So very talented singer, songwriter, guitar player, plays the harp, harmonica. And we've just had a wonderful time being open to the genres that we both feel comfortable are, that could be considered different. He's more of a country rocker. I'm more of a folk rocker. But we've found our middle ground, and we love to harmonize. And I think we both really appreciate the kind of music that we each love. And so that's worked out really nicely. We're all acoustic. We focus mostly on the harmonies. And I think we're offering something that no other band around here offers, which is really fun. And it's been inspiring to work with Al because he is so gifted and so experienced. And I feel like the band has really kind of come up a notch because, or maybe 2 or 3 notches even, because of him being a part of it. So I'm so grateful for that. And we have a lot of exciting things in store for the future, I'm sure. And then, of course, I want these fine fellows here to introduce themselves, but I just feel so grateful to both of them for being part of this project. Nick is an incredibly gifted, outstanding musician, all self-taught, and he will tell you about that. And he plays the piano and he sings gorgeous harmony with us. He has a great ear. Tommy is just an aficionado on drums, but I have him playing the congas because we're doing an acoustic thing here. And so it's just so great to have someone who's really adept at that join us, and is so much fun. And I've loved having him part of it for so many years. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want everybody, everybody's going to have some time to chat and to tell us their part. And I'm so excited to get to know each of you. I had one other question before I wanted to move along. Thia, I have this belief that we are a product of our environment, and your family is, I love both you and your husband. You are so supportive of our community when it comes to music and musicians. Not only that, but your family core base. I mean, you have, I'm not going to give away the little like tidbits that I know, but how can you what would you want to share with the audience about like your family core, because
Uh-huh.
there's so much that you stick together with and you've grown with, and there's so much you've accomplished and your daughter has accomplished and your husband has accomplished, and you've been there for each other, and it's just my heart swells with love to see that
Oh,
support
thank you.
amongst you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I think that it all started with my mom and my grandmothers, who were both musical. And I just grew up with a lot of piano playing and singing in the house, mostly Broadway show tunes and stuff. And my grandmother was a singer and played the piano and wrote music that was published. Some of it was made famous by other singers. But,
Sure.
and so I actually have her piano in my house, my grandmother's piano, and my
I
girls
play.
play it and I play it. No, it's really amazing. But what we grew up with music, and it was fostered and encouraged. Luckily, when I wanted to take lessons, they gave them to me. When I wanted to switch to guitar, they bought me a guitar. I was very fortunate that way, that we had the
Okay.
means to be able to get a guitar and get lessons and all that. And I think there was an understanding that music was a good thing, that this was something they wanted to promote. And so I think that makes a big difference. And having a parent in the house that is a musician to model that makes a huge difference. And I understood that. So when I had my children, as a music therapist now, and having gotten a master's degree and really focused on music being a healing modality, I understood how important music was inside and out, and so I just, even before they were born, I was singing to them while they were there in the womb, and, just surrounding them with classical music and playing the piano while they were going to sleep at night because the piano was in their bedroom, just surrounding them with music all the time. And I also was teaching music for early childhood education in my home. I had a studio with, kids coming, and the moms would come and my kids would be part of it. And so they were just, it was saturated with music. And they both started lessons at 4, and they're, a piano, and my older daughter still plays the guitar and sings and performs sometimes at open mics, but my younger daughter is the one who became a musician and songwriter, and she's actually has a career in that right now in LA. And I always just felt like it was my role in life to promote music in others, and to kind of bring the music to
Yeah.
the party, bring the music to the party, help each other in the community, by supporting them in their creativity to be songwriters. I run a songwriting workshop and weekend every other month, and it's been really successful. And now bringing it to the stage and expressing through the music that I've written, that Al's written, hopefully that Nick has written someday. We're going to do your songs, maybe even Tommy.
Right.
I just love expressing through song, my experiences in life, and Al's. It's been a wonderful thing to be able to do that. And then also other people's songs, to just dive in and interpret other wonderful songs and provide that for the audience, because the audience really responds to
Yes.
music. I mean, I've had people over just the last week alone, I've had 2 people who I know, friends of mine, in the audience break down in tears during a
Oh,
performance. Yeah, I mean, it's touching something deep inside that is
yeah.
healing. And I don't have to know what that is. I just know that whatever I'm doing is opening up that door for someone who needed that in the moment. that maybe the music helped them in a way that they felt supported enough to be able to cry, and that's a beautiful thing. So
Now,
not only making music, but I mean, writing it and all, but performing it is a really powerful thing, and just doing it in a way that's soothing, that is in harmony. Harmony is itself. I mean, when everyone is lined up with the different parts of harmony, and you're getting into the same, vibration and harmonizing, it is an amazingly powerful thing to listen to.
yeah, it sounds fabulous.
Write it right
Yeah.
down.
Yes,
What were you gonna say?
now how would our listeners, if they want to book you guys to come in and play for them, or a venue wants to book you, how would they reach you?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you. They can just reach out to soulshinesongs@gmail.com. That's maybe the easiest way, or they can DM us on all the socials. We have Instagram and Facebook pages that are called Soulshine, and they can see us. They can see our videos. I post videos up on YouTube. The handle is the Soulshine Band on YouTube, so they can hear what we sound like. And yeah, we have lots of ways people can get in touch with us, but maybe the easiest to remember is the email, soulshinesongs@gmail.com.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Nick and Tommy, I want to hear from both of you. Do you have a preference of who wants to chime in first?
Either way. Nick, you're up.
Oh, no. Okay. Fair enough.
So Nick, I know I met you at a couple of shows, and I know you play keyboards fabulously, but tell us a little bit about your history, about what brought you into the music world, and what keeps you moving in that direction, and how you met Thia and got involved with Soulshine.
Well, I kind of think of it as two different things. So music, I've always been, I mean, almost as far back as I can remember, 8, 10, I wanted to play the piano, and I was constantly playing music, but mostly for myself. I started working out classical stuff by ear, and then became more contemporary as time went by, and it seemed classical wasn't so cool to my peers. But I don't feel like I joined the music world or the music community until I came down here, and I started going to the Monday nights with Gary Frost at Angelo's, the open mic. And I would also go to the Sitting In with Gary on Thursdays. And that's when I started to define this community and this music world, and start sharing a little bit of my music with others. I've been playing pretty solidly from about 10 on. I was at that time piano, then shifted into the guitar, because again, the guitar I could carry around with me, and I think it was cooler in the high school, college years. But yeah, the community is just unbelievable, fabulous. It was so supportive. I never thought I would be joining bands, and then out of the blue, I got involved with another one off the coattails of a chance yard sale encounter. They said, "Hey, why are you interested in this drummer seat?" I said, "Well, I just got a new piano, and so we need a piano player." And then I got an interview, or an audition, I should say, with the Tallymen, of which Tommy Strauss at the time was not a member. This was the previous drummer that I was buying the chair from. But before I knew it, he was out and Tommy was in, and one thing led to another. Now I'm in two bands playing piano. When really I'm primarily a guitarist. I'm very comfortable on the guitar. I've been playing that a lot more. That's definitely my primary instrument. But bands, they have too many guitarists as it is. That's true with the Tallymen. That's true with Soulshine as well. And I love the piano. It's my first love, and I'm I'm faking it till I make it, but I'm trying to get back into it.
Okay, all right, and yes, and the Tallyman, yes, I've reached out to Scott. I've invited him on the show, but he hasn't responded. So
I'm sure he will. I'll prod him.
With a thumbs up.
Yeah.
We can get Scott involved.
Yeah. We have we have the poll for that.
Now, Tommy, I know you for a
Yeah.
while, and my
Yeah.
husband and I both know you, and you are a fabulous drummer. In fact, when we came by your house and we saw you played the drums, I mean, you kind of blew us away. We had no idea the
Thank you.
talent that you keep undercover, and it's just, you know, the what you bring to the table and the drumming. It's just, we're always like, only Tommy could do that.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
So my
When did
history,
you start? Yeah.
I actually started on piano
Okay.
when I was 7 years old. My mom played piano and sang a little bit. She's an artist. I have some of her, because she passed away, but I have some of her artwork in my house. And she used to sing, you know, in the house and play the piano. And I actually have the piano now. It's a third generation piano. When Thea recommended a tuner, so I had a tune after a few years, and he said this piano's from like 1928 or something.
Wow.
Hollow piano. So,
It's a
I
beautiful
started
piano.
with piano, and then when I'm 10 years old, when I was 10, I kind of revolted and gravitated towards drums.
Okay.
So that's how it started. The piano teacher would leave the house, and I was banging on the drums and kind of revolting towards drums. And then by that was like fourth grade. And sixth grade, we had elementary school graduation for sixth grade. Actually, it's interesting and ironic that I'm in a band that's based upon vocals and harmonies, because I really can't sing at all. And, you know, I may mouth a little bit when we're playing, but I'm not a singer. And the funny story is, in the sixth grade graduation, there was only 10 people in this elementary school class. It was almost like going to private school. And it wasn't very nice, but they made me mouth the singing in the graduation ceremony. They made me mouth it, but I made up for it because I had my double bass drum kit on the stage, and I blew everyone away. When I was in the program too, I played the In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida drum solo when I was 10 and kind of blew people away.
Wow.
And then fast forward to 14 years old, I was asked to play in a band and on drums in a classic rock band. And I don't know if it was called classic rock then because it was just rock. But and these kids, most of them were in private school. So I was fortunate in high school to play in high school dances. Like a lot of fun. And they were pretty good paying then. They kind of pay what people are paying now. And this was 50 years ago. But I really enjoyed that. Went to college. I started shipping out my drums a little bit. But I really just kept the drums in mind. And then things fast forward to maybe just under 40 years old. 25 years ago, I found out about an open mic where I used to live in New Jersey, and I started playing in a blues jam there and started going once a week. And at about the same time, I got asked to join a band, which I hadn't been in a band in years and years. So it all came to fruition around the same time. And then I was in this classic band, rock band called Common Ground before I joined other bands in New Jersey. And we really just played about once a month or maybe a little more, some private parties, but really enjoyed that. And then Sandy and I were snowbirds in Florida a little bit. And Sandy's like, well, what's holding you back? I really maybe would like to be in Florida. And I was like, well, the music community, blah, blah. Well, it turned out that I was fortunate to meet the music community down in Florida, in South Florida, really by going to open mics. I believe I first met Thea maybe at Double Roads and started playing with her. And kind of then I've had these congas. I've traded a couple of them, but they were from like 1980. I traded a couple of them in with new ones that I'm playing with Soulshine. And Thea, like a few years ago, approached me, maybe 5 years ago, you know, I really looking for congas. Well, I'm really not a conga player. I'm more of a drummer, but I've kind of adapted myself and doing more and more percussion, so I feel much more comfortable playing percussion. And I mean, I'm comfortable on the drums, of course. We just the Tallyman had a nice gig over the weekend with Nick on keyboard. But so I feel like I'm versatile on drums and percussion, but I really enjoy, it's kind of ironic. The point is that I'm in a harmony type band. I don't think they're looking for a 4-part harmony at this time. But
We're looking for one,
maybe one
two,
day I
three,
could sing
4.
low. You need that low parts.
When you count, when you
But-
do your counting, that's what we're looking for.
But Thea, asked me to play with her, and I haven't turned back since. And I really enjoy playing with this band. And there's a lot more to come with this. We got some exciting shows coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I think I can show my versatility, playing congas and percussion with this band. So thank you, Thea, and thank you, Soulshine. And Thea may mention who I recommended to join us on this band. I think it was Nick.
Yes.
No, we were looking for a bass or a piano or keyboard, and I recommended Nick just for a few months playing with him with that other band, which we don't have to mention right now again. But
Oh, we don't have to plug them
talking
again.
about
Yeah, this is Soulshine. We are telling you
the Soulshine band we're talking about. So
absolutely.
we're
don't want to
Thea may want to discuss upcoming shows. I believe we have one this Friday, but we'll get to that. But so there's been no turning back with the music. And, I found, point being, once I was in Florida, I really found there's a great music community in South Florida, all kinds of bands, some good venues.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to support the local venues to keep this going. Really, they could always use support.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that's what I have to say at the moment.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for having us. And thank you for Thea for asking me to be part of this band. I appreciate it.
I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Yes. And local venues, there's a certain amount of money. You mentioned like getting paid, like kind of still getting paid today what you got paid back years ago.
That's kind of true for most venues. Yes. Yes.
Yes. And
my dog is scraping at the door. I have to be right back.
Okay.
In some ways that makes me really sad because music itself is energy. It's so healing, and it brings us together in unity. It doesn't matter what religion, what your political views are, or what country you live in. Music brings us together, and it's just so underrated and underlooked, I think, when it comes to getting paid. And as musicians, myself included, I have no problem paying for tip or playing for tips or playing just to play. However, I think the people that do not play music do not have that understanding that we put so much time and work into this, but it's a passion that keeps it going. And it's something that in generations to come, I hope to, in our generation or in my daughter's generation, I hope to be somewhat of a voice that speaks out to say, hey, don't overlook us. Like, we're here to not only share our passion, but our good energy and entertain the masses, because we want to keep us together in unity and in love, because when you take everything else away, again, energy is love and peace. And that's what we're all here to keep alive, and we want to all stay happy and do what we love. One of the biggest questions I have is, I didn't get to ask, and I already know, but I don't know if the audience knows, what kind of music is your focus? What do you like to play when you're out? Do you play originals? Do you play covers? What is your go-to music when you play?
Are you asking me?
It's open.
You're the leader of the band, so you should answer on behalf
I can answer.
of
Okay.
Soulshine. Yeah.
All right. I'll answer this one. We have, Al and I have written a bunch of originals. Al has written way more than I have, but we have our music on Spotify and Apple Music and all that. So of course we want to play our own music as much as possible, but we do understand that the audience may not be familiar with those, and it's wonderful to hear them when they get to hear them. But I think they really do enjoy hearing covers, maybe even more until they get to know our songs. So we mostly play covers, and we do it with a smattering of originals in there, and it's Americana and folk rock. because I would say Al's side of the story is more country Americana. He actually had an Americana band called Americana Jones for 7 years here in this area that disbanded. And then I've been more. Oh, is something just happened with the sound? Can you hear me okay?
I thought that sounded like your dog.
Okay. So I've been more focused on folk rock my whole adult life when it comes to playing the guitar and singing. So we actually combine the two of those together. So we have some more country Americana, and we also have folk rock, more of a rockin' sound. We do a lot of, I think one of the things that we do that probably I have never heard really anyone else do around here other than in bluegrass bands. We do some really beautiful old Emmylou Harris songs that have harmonies, some 2 and 3 part harmony that are just classics that are beautiful. We do, some band and now I'm blanking on names here. Tom Petty.
Tom Petty, Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Crosby, Stills,
Nash and Young. Thank you. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, 3-part
That
harmony
happens to
songs.
me too, Thea.
Yeah. And a lot of fun sing-along kind of songs that people know the words to, but we try not to play a lot of overplayed songs, songs that all the other bands play. We're playing, things that are touching, like I'll do Get Together by the Young Bloods, or
Right.
Leaving on a Jet Plane by Peter, Paul, Mary, things like that are really touching. And then more rockin' stuff like Jambalaya or Woodstock. We do the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young version, which is kind of rockin', things like that. So we have a nice mix of up and down, sweet and rockin', and more country to more rock, folk. Yeah, it's really a good mix, and I don't know of any other band who's really doing that at this point in our area. So I think we offer something different that people are enjoying, and we're starting to build a little bit of a following now, and we're really pleased about that. We hope it keeps growing.
Now, where are you playing this weekend?
This week we're going to be actually, Al and I have a duo. The two of us play, just the two of us as a duo. And we've been playing a bit at the Speakeasy at Double Roads, which is a members only club. And we've been playing there once a month for a few months now. And that's a wonderful place to play. We love it there. A great place to be a member. But I mean, you don't have to be a member to come in and listen to the music. If you want to stay for a bit and listen, certainly. And the next night, Friday night, that's on Thursday, the 18th. And then Friday is at the old Garden City Cafe, which used to be called that, where I got my start. And a lot of musicians around here did. They've been so supportive along the years. Now it's called the Rusty Hook Tavern in Juno Beach, and the new owners are equally supportive. And so we're playing there. And then the following week, we'll be playing at the Brewhouse Gallery in Lake Park on Friday, the 26th. And Joe and Miller, Joe Brockman's the owner. She's been incredibly supportive of us. We've had a monthly gig there for most of this year. So we're so fortunate to have that opportunity to rely on, because it gives us a chance to get out there and perform and have more experience doing that, and to build a following. So that's been great. We have some more gigs coming up next month that are new. We have some new venues that we'll be playing at. We're playing at Swamp Glass Willie's. We'll be playing at Angelo's Restaurant. We have Northwood Arts Warehouse in Northwood. Next year, we've already gotten E.R. Bradley's in downtown West Palm booked.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, so really excited about that one. We're very excited about how things are evolving. It is so darn hard to get booked around here because there's so many musicians, but I feel like we're making some headway, so that's good. Yeah.
We're definitely expanding upon our venues coming up to in the near future. Which is exciting. Yeah.
Right.
That's great. It's a question for our audience. I guess it's kind of two questions. For musicians that are just getting out there, what is the best tactics to take to get booked? Is it friends through friends kind of figure it out that way? Or do is there one of you that manages the band and manages the booking?
Well, I kind of
question.
do all of that management stuff, but there are opportunities that come up for the other band members to get a booking for us, and that certainly happened, which is I really appreciate that. And so everyone's on the lookout, obviously, for a new venue or a booking opportunity for us, which is great. But I work at I have a spreadsheet. I go through the spreadsheet and I make contact with people by text, by emails, by phone calls, and sometimes I don't hear a thing for months, and I'll be getting to them like every other week or something.
Right.
And just suddenly out of the blue, they email me, "Hey, can you do this?" And it's okay. So it's working. This is actually working, but it does take a lot of perseverance, and there's a lot of banging on doors and not getting anywhere at all, which is very frustrating. I think probably if I had some advice for somebody who's just getting started, like I did in 2019. Having people, letting your friends know that you're interested, and then maybe they can suggest a place for you, that maybe you have a friend who's a musician who plays out, or can give you a recommendation to a person who owns a restaurant or whatever, or going in there and introducing yourself. But certainly since they've never heard you before, if you can show them what you sound like, that would be great. Like give them a link to a YouTube video that you've put up there, somehow getting it across what you sound like. It's not going to be you walking in with your guitar and playing a song. More than likely, you're going to have to give them a link to something, or give them a little thumb drive or something to listen to, and that will sell. It's how you sound that's going to sell them, and then also how professional you are. If you're flaky and you don't get back to them, they're not going to want to hire you. But if you are persistent and you're polite and you're very grateful, they'll probably want to do business with you. That they'll figure that you're going to be easy to work with, right?
Yes.
And so offering marketing, that you're willing to do the marketing, putting up the Facebook event, inviting all your friends, making posts, all that stuff. They really want that, because that's going to bring the customers in.
Nice. And it makes sense. Now, Nick and Tommy,
Yes.
when do you guys all get together? And I mean, do you have like an agenda for when you practice together, or do you just kind of like know your songs and then just know like, okay, we're gonna meet Friday night and we'll just play that? But
No,
I know you together, so
we pretty much have a set day, usually Tuesdays at Thia's, and we kind of, I try to put that night away for rehearsals, personally. So that's really, it's good to have structure with that, instead of just winging when you're going to have rehearsals, so then and you could plan for it.
right.
And, and if you can't make that one, or going to be a little late, we're pretty accommodating, but I try to put that aside.
Okay. And then
to add one thing to what Thea said before, as far as marketing the band, like if you're in a new place supporting a friend's band or something, and you're supporting them by having dinner there or something, you'd say, well, who can I speak to here about, then we have a band, or you have a business card, or you could tell them about yourself and get the contact that way. I happen to be in that venue and meeting somebody there. That makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Now, you, as a band, but then again, individually, Thea, you have some great original pieces, and I know a lot of them are already on Spotify and what have you. However, with new pieces that you're working on maybe now, or new pieces in the future, Nick, Tommy, when you're working together as a band, but in practice, do you, and this is a silly question, I know the answer, but maybe for some of our listeners, they don't know this. When you're working together as a band, you all kind of bring your own cards to the table per se. Like I have my own style of playing, right? So Tommy, you have your style of playing drums.
Right.
Nick, you have your style for playing music. And we each have our own way to maybe jazz it up or bluegrass it up or tune it up or change it down or what have you. So when you're together as a band, do you kind of work on songs where you're working on it together, or do you, or Thea, let's say, do you have like a certain particular way of how you want a song to go, or I mean, collaborating together, is it a collaboration or is it kind of a collaboration of building the song together? I guess that's the long way of asking that.
Do you want to answer, Nick?
I was thinking more often than not, it's the former and not the latter. We're bringing our cards to the table. Thea will have a song that she has done with previous iterations of Soulshine and has an idea for how it wants, how she'd like it to be, or the key and that sort of structure. There is definitely flexibility and a collaborative environment. Very supportive about changes here and there, but within a set of parameters. We don't suddenly make it a salsa, out of the blue. Although that could be very interesting, and maybe we would try that down the line. But in general, I'm thinking of the example with my Randy Newman tunes. I don't think that was definitely out of the blue. It was a card in my deck that I played, and everyone said, "Oh yeah, I think we could do this, no problem."
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, very well received. So very happy. But even that, we did some alteration. I have this. I'm gravitating towards wanting to play it the way that the writer Randy Newman plays it. And the thought process from the band is that no, it's Three Dog Night. That's what the people know. That's the syncopation that they're expecting. So there's a collaborative process.
Mm-hmm. Can I add to that? Yeah, I think everything you said was right on. I just wanted to add, because Al's not here, and maybe I should add. He would not be comfortable saying this himself anyway. So he's got so much experience, that we can rely on him to come up with some great ideas for how to work our way into a song or make it better. And whether it's an intro or, a type of harmony or whatever. And so it's just really been wonderful having him be in this collaboration with us. I think I can trust his musical gut on whatever his hunch on how to do it better. And that's really great. I feel like, yes, Nick has particular, strengths in the way he plays and how he hears things. And we definitely want to draw that out and feature it, because he's incredibly talented, gifted musician. And, I don't want him sitting up on stage and just, being behind us. I want him being out front and the audience enjoying what he has to offer. And I feel the same way about Tommy. We want him to be out front when we can, give him a solo or whatever, so that the people in the audience can see what he's got to offer. We all have our strengths. And I think that's part of making a band really solid, that everybody has a chance to express themselves musically. And, there may be songs that one of them don't really feel like, I wouldn't listen to this song on the car radio. Maybe it's not my favorite song, but we're playing it. But we're going to make it even better because we're doing it like Soulshine does it, So
we put our own spin on it for sure.
We put our own spin on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Three-part harmony or whatever we're doing, to make it ours. So,
but in terms of practice, I think we're expected to work that song out, on our own, learn it, and then come to the table to then come together, as opposed to, we don't know the song, blindfolded. We all come in and kind of work it out on the spot. That might consume an entire practice. So
You have to be
practice.
so careful with your time because you only get that 1 3-hour practice a week. And so we do end up like sharing a recording of a song that we want to learn. Either one that we wrote, then it would be a video of us playing it in the past with a different band, iteration, that kind of thing. Or if it's a popular song of some kind, sharing that, and then I'll even share lyrics and chords a lot of the time, so that we're all on the same key. Working those kinds of things out. Sometimes it doesn't stick, and we change it, but I think good preparation really makes a difference because you have so little time and you don't want to waste it. Right. I always have like a prep sheet for our rehearsals of the songs that I think we need to go over. And then we don't usually get to all of them, and then I do a set list and we decide whether we do want those songs in the set list or we're going to add some more from a rehearsal in there or not, that kind of thing. So it's just doing it in a systematic way that really helps us with your time management.
That makes sense. That makes complete sense. Now, Thea, you mentioned this earlier before. I had asked if you had some words for our audience, and you gave us a great answer. Nick and Tommy, I want to also get your feedback, and I want our audience to hear from you. What advice would you give to new musicians or new bands coming together, and as we're moving ahead, wanting to keep our music alive? What would, I don't know who wants to go first. What would you advise to new people coming into the music world, or people that are musicians that are just trying to figure it out?
I would say when you're with a band, you want to always be respectful to your bandmates. And, sometimes it takes some compromise and working things out and, feel a connection with your bandmates. And really, that's the first step. And then the next step is to connect with the audience. So, I love playing music. I always have to play. I kind of step it up when I'm in front of people or playing live. I get excited by mid connection, whether there's 5 people in the audience or 50. You just want to connect with people, and that's important. Mm-hmm. But the first step is to connect with your bandmates and go from there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And Nick?
Well, as I said, from my personal experience, if you're a musician and you're not playing out very often and you want to get hooked up, connected to that community that you keep talking about, that wonderful community, I think the open mics are a great way to do that, and certainly a great place to start. And even once you've found yourself in bands, continue. You'll meet new people. You'll play different things. It's a way to workshop things you've written, things that you are working on that you can't play with your band because they don't want to do a salsa. Whatever it is. I think that community aspect that you were so positive about, my experience with that has been through the open mic. So highly recommend that. And then for playing out, that's, I think Thia really takes the reins on that. Although Tommy does a great job as well. Finding gigs, once you've got a band together and you want to play out, that is, oh man, it's to me, that's much harder than the music. The music is what I focus on. I'm playing the music for myself and God willing for anyone that would enjoy it around me. But the beating down the doors and getting putting your face, I think probably in person to those managers and building that relationship. It's definitely beyond my skill set. Thea, I'm sure can talk further to that.
Thea, you do a wonderful job, and we've heard you play. And tell our audience again how we get in touch with you to find out your venues and your website and your songs.
Thank you. But before I do that, I just wanted to say that I feel so grateful to have these amazing musicians to get up on stage with. And I feel like that is the key to making a band work, because you have to have that chemistry and willingness to work together and communicate, and that's hard to do all the time. There's a lot of ups and downs, and if you can keep it together as a band, that's one of the hardest things about having a band, is keeping it together, right? They always break up, right? Well, we're hoping not to break up. I think we have a good mix right now, and we just feel so fortunate about that. But that is like finding the right people to work with, that's really key, and it's hard. It can be hard, but getting out to the open mics, you will find a lot more musicians out there like yourself.
Right.
And that's a great way to network and find the people that, ultimately will be your bandmates. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
well, we're about up for time. So please share with us how to get in touch with you.
Sure. Yeah. They can go to Facebook and Instagram, Soulshine, the Soulshine Band on Instagram, and just Soulshine on Facebook with pages for those two. And then soulshinesongs@gmail.com if somebody wants to email me about booking or anything at all. And then they can go to YouTube to the Soulshine Band as well. I think it's just Soulshine Band to see our videos of us playing.
Wonderful. Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're out of time for today. Thank you so much for making the time to be on our show. And I look forward to hearing you guys again. You're amazing. I love you all.
Thank you.
We love you, and thank you,
Lisa. You're wonderful for having us. We really appreciate it.
All right. Well, we will see each other soon, and we look forward to hearing you again soon. We'll come out and see you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Excellent.
Bye. Well, thank you so much for being on our show and listening in or tuning in. Remember, music is energy. It's very healing. So let's keep music alive. Sorry.